Hello everyone, Voodoo here, and we are here with a bit of a somber tone in today's video. You guys watched my video Friday. I went over some Sims. We've discovered a bug, a pretty huge bug for Aldrachi that exists in the game. That's positive, that has been happening for all throughout testing and through all Sims that we didn't know about. And that's been fixed. Now, Wounded Quarry has also been implemented, so there are some updated Sims, but things are being dire now from both a gameplay perspective, my opinion anyways, that's pretty subjective, but also a damage perspective. So we're gonna go over it. We're not looking great right now. Hopefully we'll see some changes, but yeah. So like, comment, subscribe, and let's just break it down. All right, so we're here in game. Now you're probably wondering, what's this huge bug you're talking about? Well, the huge bug I'm talking about revolves around with the Wounded Quarry. When you read this is the new Wounded Quarry, which actually was going to be the original topic of today's video, because this talent's really cool and really good. We're all like 20% of all your physical damage is dealt back to your marked target, and is also turned into chaos. It's a really good funnel. It's like actually like really strong and kind of fun to play with. The bug that this hasn't worked for a long time, and in a patch on Friday it was pushed and fixed. But what we've learned is that the whole time the old effect of Wounded Quarry was still active. Now the old effect is that whenever you autoed your marked target, you had a chance of shattering souls from them. And that is still present, and that's a big deal. So if we go up here and we just hunt in and throw our glaive on this guy, hunt, and then we're just gonna apply our mark. I'm just gonna sit here, we'll grab that soul because there we go, there's one right there. My auto attacks are generating souls. Now it's not like super common, but it does happen, and it results in roughly a reduction of 20 to 30% of your soul generation. I'm getting a little unlucky here. Obviously I don't have like the full attack speed buff increase there either, so less autos than normal. But the old effect of Wounded Quarry is still present, and this was present in Sims as well. So not only has this been present throughout the entirety of testing, which none of us really realized, this has also been present through Sims, which I didn't realize. I don't know. Yeah, a few of us didn't realize. I'm not sure if everyone knew or whatever, but this is still present for Vengeance as well. What this means is that Aldrachi Reaver is actually feeling kind of fun on PTR because you got a decent amount of glaives. You're going to get 30% less glaives. And that really gimps both the playability of this spec, but also the viability. The damage goes down substantially even when you include Wounded Quarry, which is pretty strong. So things are in a pretty dire state. Right now we're in a spot where I don't think either of these trees play well. We'll show you Sims in a second. Aldrachi Reaver, when you have glaives, plays great. When you don't have glaives, it doesn't play good at all. Because basically, if you don't have your Sigil of Spite or Sigil of Flame, and you know, if you don't like the sigils, that's whatever. You're just sitting here, just pushing Chaos Strike, and just hoping for it to shatter a soul. Like, that's the gameplay, and you got to just do that and try and get enough souls to get to a point where you can use your Reaver's Glaive. Now in Mythic Plus, it's not as bad because you have some souls from mobs dying. Obviously, it's not like super common because you gotta get the last hit, but you can see here, I'm not really generating many souls just from Chaos Striking alone. Now, you do have the soul generation from throwing your glaive, you do have the soul generation from your sigils, but that's kind of it. So if you're sitting here, you don't have your sigils. I went 20 seconds there without getting a soul, and I got another one, but it's very likely and very possible that you often can just like almost lose out on your Art of the Glaive stacks if you're not super accurate or super precise with your Sigil of Flame timing. Boom, now I have a glaive, and now I can like throw my glaive out and do this, and it gets a lot better. I have more auto attack speed, so I have more fury, so I can do more chaos strikes and yada yada yada. So the train is, you know, you can actually be on a train, you get more souls that way, and it's not as bad of a deal. But if you ever fall off of it and you don't have your sigils, gameplay feels pretty bad because you just basically don't have a hero talent tree, which is horrible. And we have much less buff uptime. I think our buffs went down by like 20% for Thrill of the Fight. You have less Wounded Quarry uptime, so it feels pretty bad there. For Fel Scarred, because of how this dumb spec works, we're not playing Blade Dance. We don't use Blade Dance in single target, and I think I have it here. Oh, I actually don't know if I have the build on this character right now. No, I do. I think it's just this, and then drop this for this. So this is the build, and you'll notice that we are not using any of the Blade Dance talents. So all you do is you push Chaos Strike, but on top of that, you have to hold Sigil of Flame. You get some weird desyncs from Ivy and VR, and you have to hold the hunt for 2 minutes. Now the VR desyncs happen as well for Aldrachi, But they are much more impactful for Fel Scarred because your damage is much more in that Essence Break I-beam window. So things get kind of weird there. So this is like Hold City where you don't use Blade Dance, right? Because Blade Dance just does less damage because Burning Blades is around and is kind of broken. So we're just sitting here, just Chaos Striking the target. I use Sigil Flame when I shouldn't have, and that's all you do. You just Chaos Strike. It's like, oh, okay, we'll do a little I-beam rotation. This one also has the Fel Rush still, by the way, because you don't get the Fel Blade resets. Do a little rotation. I didn't hunt, but you would hunt. And then you're just like pushing Chaos Strike till your meta runs out. You do use Death Sweep still, so it's not as bad, I guess. But you're just sitting here. You're just kind of pushing Chaos Strike. Now, whenever we run out of meta is when you don't use Blade Dance. And this hunt here, I would have used it with meta, but we have to hold it now. We hold the hunt. We'd have to hold I-beam to sync back up with VR to sync back up with I-beam. Hold Sigil Flame to sync up with I-beam. And it's just like a lot of holding, and I think it's just kind of like a worse version than previous Fel Scarred. And Reaver just doesn't feel great because you don't have glaives. I do think the changes to cycle and changes to inertia are positive. But it leaves us in a weird spot where I actually generally think that the spec would play better without both of its hero talent trees, which is kind of the rotational aspect of it, I guess. So this is subjective. If you still enjoy it, that's up to you. I don't like how much holding of everything Fel Scarred has to do. And Aldrachi Reaver basically half the time feels like you don't have a hero talent tree because they nerfed soul generation by 30 to 40%. And generally it was fun when you did have 30 to 40% more souls. It actually was pretty enjoyable. Hero talent tree, I did enjoy it through testing, through PTR and stuff like that. So that's kind of like the gameplay aspect of it, which weird we did first, but whatever. Let's talk about Sims and also a bit about our tier set. All right, talking about Sims. So you guys saw this Sim in the video on Friday. This is the Fel Scarred one. Now I will say it is a little bit under simming by like 2% or so because character disposition doesn't actually increase Burning Blades through Annihilation and Chaos Strike. So there's a bit of an under sim here. Both builds are under simming, I will say. So keep that in mind, but 2.4. That's a pretty bad number. Now, beforehand, our other sim was like 200,000 DPS ahead of it. Now, if you look at it, it's 60,000 DPS ahead of it. Now, again, this is under simming. We haven't touched the APL. Might need some gearing changes because Wounded Quarry is really good. But this is our best sim in single target. Now, the Aldrachi sims are a lot more real these days because a lot of the uptime stuff has been broken, right? You don't need full uptime from Wounded Quarry or Cycle of Hatred, anything like that. So the difference in downtime between the two builds, pretty much negligent, right? Like if you're off the boss for Oppenheimer, yeah, you miss souls. Cross the boss for this one, Burning Blades is your highest source of damage, and that just can't really happen. So yeah, the uptime is kind of like whatever between the two of them. But the big issue here is that the Sims the whole time, as well as the gameplay the whole time, had us with 30 to 40% more souls, which meant that we had more Wounded Quarry uptime. We had more Reaver's Glaive damage. We went from like 30 or like 26 or something glaives down to 18, which is not very many, which is not good. Our buff uptime dropped. We used to have 96% uptime of this one and like a 75% uptime of this one. So this has dropped by a ton, which means that we just have like way less damage there, less soul scar damage because we have less Reaver's Glaives, less Art of the Glaive damage because there's less Reaver's Glaives. There's a lot less uptime of the Reaver's Mark, which you can't really see here, but that's just gone as well. So the whole thing is dropped like a stone. Even though we've added Wounded Quarry, which is a really good talent. Like this is pure single target. It's doing like 5% of your damage. In AoE, this thing is crazy. It does like 10%. You funnel a ton of damage into one target. It's actually really, really, really good. But you just never have glaives, which sucks. So this bug will get fixed. It has been reported directly to Reels, unfortunately. I didn't do it, but it means that this tree is going to play like ass basically because you're never gonna have glaives. The other tree is going to play like ass because you don't use Blade Dance. Again, no Blade Dances here. You hold the hunt, you hold Sigil of Flame. The weird desyncs both of them have feel kind of bad. So Havoc in a weird spot gameplay wise, but also the sim numbers are obscenely low. To my knowledge, and from what I've heard, the lowest other sim we've gotten is like 2.56 after the recent buffs. And that is Dev Evoker. So we are about 100,000 DPS below that. Now again, this will be higher in the end, but we're still gonna be pretty bad. I think there's a bug right now in Sims with Fellblade lockout from VR. I don't know if we can find it down here. but there's a bug right now in Sims with that. So the APL has to be reworked a little bit, maybe more on mastery. But things are dire. And on top of that, our tier set is horrible. So this is tier off. So this is just not using tier at all. Oppenheimer is the old sim. Now I wish I had the tier effect one. I don't, I'm missing it. Oppenheimer is the old sim, which means that, you know, it's using the current tier set, the new tier set. Tier off means you just don't have a tier set effect. And it's like, or sorry, he just took the pieces off actually. So that's 126,000. The tier set effect, if you're using tier 1, season 1, is 80,000 behind that. Which means that the 39 eye level difference makes up most of that difference. It still means that like heroic is an upgrade, but it is a horribly undertuned sim tier set. I'm gonna try and find the actual sim for you, so we'll be right back to keep talking about it. Okay, so I didn't find the sim, but I did find the picture. So this is like the most accurate. So this is Oppenheimer with the season 2 tier set. This is the season 1 tier set, 51,000 DPS loss for using the season 1 tier set, and that includes the 39 eye level jump. So this is mythic to mythic. So our tier set is horrendous. That is essentially like nothing in terms of like just using other gear is close to it. Now, obviously, of course, we're not going to get there. We're still going to use the tier set. It's better than just using like off pieces, but it's still a bad tier set compared to what we're losing from season 1. So you couple that with, you know, the tier set stuff. You couple that with how low our sims are. You couple that with the gameplay issues that I feel both trees have. And I think Havoc's in a pretty dire spot right now. The patch should come out in 2 to 3 weeks. Unfortunately, this bug was just in forever and none of us noticed. So we're gonna launch in a really weird spot. We'll probably get tuned up, so I wouldn't doom that way. But even when we do get tuned up, I think the gameplay issues will still exist. And we'll see. I was enjoying Havoc on PTR with Aldrachi. I did think getting those glaives was pretty fun. You got a lot of them. I wasn't really enjoying Fel Scarred. I think the holding stuff got worse. But I think no glaive Aldrachi is still going to feel pretty bad, and holding Fel Scarred will also still feel pretty bad. So we'll see what happens. Might be in a dire spot. We'll see. I don't know. Just wanted to alert the masses. So there you go. Hope you guys have a good Monday. We'll see if tomorrow, Tuesday, brings about more tuning changes. This kind of stuff all happened over the weekend, which is why my Friday video, which I recorded Thursday, is out of date now, which is fun. There you go. New Sims and whatever. So hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good Monday. Peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you, Alexander Trifunovic, Zuligan, Fear Redefined, Indiga, Gabrielle Correa, Magic Man 133, Falafadarn, Dark Terror, and Skyelt. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. If you want to become a channel member and get some exclusive perks and just help support me in making some content, there's a link down below. Otherwise, though, I just appreciate you all so much, and thank you for watching.